Muslims love attacking Christianity. Trinity is polytheism, the Bible is corrupted, the Crusades prove that Christians are violent. You've heard the arguments, but here's what happens when you hold them up to a mirror. 7 attacks Muslims make on Christianity, every single one of them, boomerangs. I did the research, same standards, same methodology, and the pattern is impossible to ignore. This isn't a defense of Christianity, this is a mirror. Let's count them down.
Number 7. The leaders you follow. The Muslim claim, look at the Pope's palace, wealthy pastors. Christian leaders are hypocrites living in luxury. The Saudi royal family, custodians of the 2 holy mosques, guardians of Mecca and Medina, the holiest role in Islam. Net worth, $1.4 trillion. Private jets, gold-plated palaces, super yachts. Meanwhile, they enforce strict Islamic law on everyone else. Women can't drive until 2018. Can't travel without male permission. Must be fully covered. But the princes? Documented partying in European nightclubs, alcohol, gambling, escorts. Dubai, Qatar, Bahrain. Islamic nations with billionaire rulers, preaching submission, humility, simplicity, while living like emperors. History. The Ottoman caliphs. The Islamic caliphate everyone romanticizes. Harems with hundreds of women, concubines, slaves. New sultans routinely killed their brothers, sometimes dozens of them, to prevent succession disputes. This was official policy, called it the law of fratricide. The caliph sat on a golden throne, while preaching that Muhammad lived simply.
Number 7. The leaders you follow. Corrupt leadership is a human problem, not a Christian problem. Your caliphs had harems. Your modern custodians have super yachts. Maybe sit this one out. That's number 7. Leadership hypocrisy. But it gets deeper, because corruption at the top is one thing, division at every level is another.
Number 6. How divided you are. The Muslim claim, Christianity has 40,000 denominations. You can't even agree among yourselves. Islam is unified, one ummah. Sunni versus Shia. Started with a dispute over who should succeed Muhammad, Abu Bakr or Ali. 680 AD, Battle of Karbala. Muhammad's grandson Hussein killed by other Muslims. That was 1,344 years ago. Still killing each other today. Iraq after 2003. Sunni Shia civil war. Hundreds of thousands dead. Syria. Alawite government versus Sunni rebels. Yemen. Shia Houthis versus Saudi-backed Sunnis. Pakistan. Shia mosques bombed regularly by Sunni extremists. But the division goes deeper. Shia split further. Twelvers, Ismailis, Zaidis, Alawites, Druze, each saying the others got the succession wrong. Sunni schools of jurisprudence, Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi'i, Hanbali, sometimes declaring each other's rulings invalid. Wahhabis call Sufis heretics, grave worshippers. Traditional Muslims say Ahmadis aren't Muslim at all. Salafis condemn 1,000 years of Islamic scholarship as innovation. ISIS destroyed Sufi shrines in Iraq and Syria. Muslim destroying Muslim holy sites because they disagreed about Islam.
How unified is your faith? Islam is unified? You've been killing each other over Muhammad's successor since 680 AD. The blood is still flowing. 40,000 Christian denominations is embarrassing, but most of them aren't bombing each other's churches. Notice the pattern? Corrupt leaders, violent sectarianism, Christianity, Islam, same human failures, but this next one gets deeper into the origins themselves.
Number 5. What you absorbed. The Muslim claim, Christmas is pagan, Easter is pagan, Christianity absorbed pagan traditions to convert pagans. Islam is pure, no pagan influence. The Kaaba. pre-Islamic pagan shrine. Arabs worshipped 360 idols there before Muhammad. The Black Stone, set in the eastern corner, venerated by pagans before Islam existed. Muhammad could have destroyed it. He didn't. He kept it, incorporated it. Now Muslims circle it, kiss it. Hajj rituals. Circling the Kaaba 7 times, tawaf. Pre-Islamic practice. Running between Safa and Marwa hills, sa'i. Pre-Islamic practice. Throwing stones at pillars representing Satan. Pre-Islamic practice. All documented as pagan Arabian customs that Islam retained. Jinn. Pre-Islamic Arabian folklore. Desert spirits, fire beings. Adopted wholesale into Islamic theology. Entire surahs about them. Friday prayer. Jewish Sabbath, Saturday. Christian Sabbath, Sunday. Muslims chose Friday. Why? The pre-Islamic Arabian market day, when tribes gathered for trade. The crescent moon symbol, adopted from Byzantine and Persian imagery, not from Muhammad's time, later became the symbol of Islam.
Where did your practices come from? Yes, Christianity absorbed pagan elements, but your holiest site was a pagan shrine. Your pilgrimage includes pre-Islamic rituals. Your cosmology includes pre-Islamic spirits. Every religion absorbs from its context. You're not the exception. But now we hit the core claim, the one Muslims are most proud of.
Number 4. Your scripture's preservation. The Muslim claim, the Bible has been changed, manuscripts differ, contradictions everywhere. Only the Quran is perfectly preserved, word for word, letter for letter. The Uthmanic standardization. 20 years after Muhammad's death, the third Caliph Uthman noticed a problem. Different regions had different versions of the Quran, different words, different readings. His solution? Create one standard version and burn all the others. Think about that. If the Quran was perfectly preserved from the beginning, why were there variants to burn? 1972, Sana'a, Yemen. Workers renovating the Great Mosque find ancient Quran fragments. Carbon dating, 7th century. Some of the oldest Qurans in existence. Scholars analyze them. Different words, different verse orders, different diacritical marks. These manuscripts exist. They've been studied, published. They show variation. The Satanic Verses Incident. According to early Islamic historians, Al-Tabari, Ibn Ishaq, Muhammad once recited verses accepting 3 pagan goddesses, Allat, Al-Uzza, Manat. Later, he said Satan had deceived him. The verses were removed. Many modern scholars reject this account, call it fabricated. But it's in your own classical sources, the earliest historians of Islam. Verses added, then deleted, abrogation, naskh. The Quran itself says some verses cancel others. Surah 2:106. We do not abrogate a verse or cause it to be forgotten, except that we bring forth one better than it. Even within the Quran, the text acknowledges change. The Hadith. Islamic law depends on it. How to pray, how to fast, what's halal. But it was compiled 200 years after Muhammad, through oral tradition, passed down through chains of narrators. Different collections, different standards. Bukhari has 7,000 hadiths. Muslim has 4,000. Abu Dawood has 5,000. Not the same 4,000, different hadiths. Sunnis and Shias trust different hadiths entirely.
Is your book perfectly preserved? The Quran was standardized by a caliph who burned the variants. The oldest manuscripts show differences. Your own tradition says verses were added and removed. Your legal system depends on oral traditions compiled 2 centuries after Muhammad's death. Perfect preservation? The evidence says otherwise. So the exact same manuscript issues Muslims accuse Christians of. But now we enter the heaviest territory, blood.
Number 3. Who you oppressed. The Muslim claim, Christians launched crusades. Christians colonized. Christian empires oppressed millions. The Islamic conquests, 632 to 750 AD. Within 100 years of Muhammad's death, Muslim armies conquered Arabia entirely, Persia entirely, Zoroastrianism nearly wiped out, Egypt, Christian before conquest, North Africa, Christian before conquest, Spain, Christian before conquest, parts of India, Hindu and Buddhist populations subjugated. This wasn't defensive warfare. This was imperial expansion. The dhimmi system. Non-Muslims in Islamic empires were second-class citizens, dhimmis, could practice their religion, but paid jizya, a special tax Muslims didn't pay, couldn't build new churches or temples, couldn't repair old ones without permission, couldn't testify against Muslims in court, had to wear identifying clothing, couldn't ride horses, only donkeys, had to stand in the presence of Muslims. Tolerance meant subjugation with restrictions. The Arab slave trade. Over 1,200 years, 650 AD to 1900 AD. 10 to 18 million Africans enslaved, many castrated, to prevent them from having families. Zanzibar. Slaves from Africa sold to Arabia, Persia, India. Saudi Arabia didn't abolish slavery until 1962. 1962, 62 years ago. Mauritania officially abolished slavery in 1981. Last country on earth. Still ongoing in practice. Ottoman Devshirme. Christian families in the Balkans had their sons taken by the Ottoman government, forcibly converted to Islam, raised as elite soldiers, janissaries, for centuries. This was official policy. The Armenian Genocide. Ottoman Empire, 1915 to 1923. 1.5 million Armenian Christians systematically killed. Death marches, mass executions. Women and children forced to convert or die. Churches destroyed. Entire towns erased.
Yes, Christian empires oppressed people. So did Islamic empires. Just as long, just as much blood, just as systematic. You conquered from Spain to Indonesia, enslaved millions for over 1,000 years, had your own system of religious subjugation. This isn't a contest you can win. But number 2 is the one Muslims always bring up.
Number 2. What you call defensive wars. The Muslim claim, the Crusades prove Christianity is violent. You invaded the Muslim world, massacred innocents, unprovoked aggression. Let's do a timeline. 632 AD, Muhammad dies. Islamic conquests begin immediately. 638 AD, Muslim armies conquer Jerusalem. Christians had controlled it for 300 years. 711 AD, Muslim armies conquer Spain. Christian kingdom destroyed. 732 AD, Muslim armies reach central France, stopped at the Battle of Tours, barely. 846 AD, Muslim raiders sack Rome, the seat of Christianity. St. Peter's Basilica looted. 1009 AD, Fatimid Caliph al-Hakim orders the destruction of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, Christianity's holiest site, demolished. 1071 AD, Battle of Manzikert. Byzantine Empire devastated. Asia Minor falls to Seljuk Turks. 1095 AD, Pope Urban II calls the First Crusade. The Crusades started in 1095. Muslims conquered Jerusalem in 638, 457 years earlier. Muslims reached France in 732, 363 years earlier. Muslims sacked Rome in 846, 249 years earlier. For 4.5 centuries, Islamic armies expanded across the Christian world. The Holy Land, North Africa, Spain, France, Rome itself. The Byzantine Empire, the Christian continuation of Rome, was being systematically dismantled. The Crusades were a response, a late, violent, morally unjustifiable response. The massacres were atrocities. The violence was wrong. But acting like they were unprovoked, historically illiterate.
Who attacked first? The Crusades were wrong. The massacres were atrocities. But acting like they came out of nowhere? For 4.5 centuries, Islamic armies expanded across the Christian world. The same exact imperialist history Muslims accuse Christians of. But all of that is surface. Number 1 goes to the foundation, the core claim of Islam.
Number 1. The foundation. The Muslim claim. The Trinity is polytheism, 3 gods, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Shirk, the unforgivable sin, associating partners with God. Islam is pure monotheism, 1 God, no partners, no compromise. The 99 names of Allah. Ar-Rahman, the Merciful. Al-Muntaqim, the Avenger. Al-Khaliq, the Creator. Al-Mumit, the Destroyer. Al-Adl, the Just. Al-Jabbar, the Compeller. Each describes a different attribute, a different aspect. Muslims say, 1 God, different attributes. Christians say the exact same thing about the Trinity. 1 God, 3 persons, different aspects. If 99 names describing different attributes is monotheism, why isn't 3 persons? Veneration of saints. Folk Islam across the world. Shrines to Sufi saints, prayers at tombs, requests for intercession. Pakistan, Morocco, Turkey, Indonesia. Millions visit, make requests, seek blessings. Muslims point to Catholics doing this and call it shirk. But when Muslims do it, it's different. We're not worshiping them, we're just seeking their intercession. Catholics say the exact same thing about saints. The Black Stone. Kissed by pilgrims during Hajj, pre-Islamic origin. Muslims say, we don't worship it, we venerate it because the Prophet did. Catholics say the exact same thing about relics. Same action, same justification. But one is shirk and one isn't? The Eternal Quran. Orthodox Sunni theology, the majority position, holds the Quran is uncreated, eternal, exists alongside Allah. Think about that. If something eternal exists alongside Allah, how is that different from the Christian Logos, the Word, existing eternally with God? That's the basis of Trinity theology. The Word, the Logos, eternal with God, then incarnate in Jesus. The Mu'tazilites, early Islamic rationalists, called this out. They said, an eternal Quran alongside Allah is shirk, associating something eternal with God. The Quran must be created, otherwise you have 2 eternal beings. They lost the debate, were declared heretics. Mainstream Islam affirmed the Quran is eternal, uncreated, so you have Allah, eternal, Quran, eternal, 2 eternal things. Christians have Father, eternal, Son, Logos, eternal, Holy Spirit, eternal, 3 eternal persons, 1 God. The Mu'tazilites saw the problem. If Trinity is shirk, an eternal Quran alongside Allah is shirk. Same logic. Angels, jinn, Iblis, the throne of Allah, the preserved tablet, a rich supernatural hierarchy, not simple monotheism.
What is the unforgivable sin in Islam? What's the difference? Muslims accuse Christians of polytheism, but you have 99 names describing different attributes, an eternal Quran existing alongside an eternal Allah, saint shrines where you seek intercession, a pre-Islamic stone that pilgrims kiss, a hierarchy of angels, jinn, and supernatural beings, If Trinity is polytheism, an eternal Quran alongside Allah is polytheism. Same move, same logic. You don't have pure monotheism. You have monotheism with asterisks, just like Christianity. Every accusation Muslims throw at Christianity, boomerangs. Every accusation Christians throw at Islam, boomerangs. This isn't whataboutism. This is pattern recognition. Corrupt leaders, sectarian violence, oppression of women, theocracy, terrorism, holy wars, and theological paradoxes. That pattern doesn't belong to Christianity or Islam or Judaism or Hinduism or Buddhism. It's the human pattern. A prophet reconnects to the source. Followers gather. The message spreads. The prophet departs. Organization emerges, power consolidates, wealth accumulates, and eventually the institution that began with love God and love others is killing people who disagree. But both sides miss this. You're fighting over maps, different languages, different rituals, different names for the same reality. Judaism called it Yahweh. Christianity calls it Father. Islam calls it Allah. The Sufis called it the Beloved, and mystics call it the Source. Same wavelength, different words. You're closer than you want to admit, because admitting it threatens the institutions, threatens the exclusive access, threatens the real right and you're wrong that keeps people in the pews and mosques. But the prophets, they all taught the same thing. Reconnect. To what's real underneath the labels. If you're angry at Muslims after watching this, then you miss the point. The same mirror works in reverse. Every Christian attack on Islam boomerangs too. That video is linked in the description. Watch both sides get exposed. Subscribe if you want content that doesn't just pick sides, just exposes the pattern.